of the bench, away from the judiciary, and get me into ministry? Which is a crazy thought, right? No judge would leave the bench and get into ministry. Who in their right mind would do that? And I would ask her. She'd say, "Are you asking me?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, then you're not ready." I said, "What?" She said, "Well, if you have a question about it, then you're not ready to make any decisions." Okay, that makes sense. And it would go on for a year, 2 years, and something was always stirring in me. And I would ask her again and again, "Is God moving me out of the judiciary to be a minister?" She said, "Are you asking me?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Then you're not ready." Okay, I wasn't ready. And I would read my Bible, and every time I read my Bible, they talk about trust. Talk about trust. Talk about trust. To the point where one day I thought, "Okay, Lord, let me just stay with the judgeship, the judiciary. Let me retire, put in enough years and time. Let me retire. Then I'll give my life to you in ministry." And the Bible reading I had for that day was about the man who had so much in his harvest. He built 2 barns. You guys remember that story? And there was so much. He built 2 barns, and the Lord came to him in the night and said, "You fool, I can take all of that from you tonight." And I wrote in my Bible, "Trust." And something was moving so much in my heart that I had to walk away from the bench. I was at a conference. I met a man who his net worth through oil industry and through cable television, his net worth is over $400 million. And I was talking to him about all of this. And he says, "Well, do you want to be a judge the rest of your life?" I said, "Okay, well, I got to think about this." By the end of that conference, I told him, "I think I need to know, I know what I need to do." He said, "Well, let me help you. Let me contribute." I said, "No, I don't need any of your money. I just need to go home and make a decision." I flew home and I said to my wife, "The Lord is moving me out of the bench and getting into ministry." I wasn't asking anymore. I knew that for a fact.
Hallelujah.
So I went to see our senior pastor at the time, and I called him and I said, "Something's going on in me. I can't understand what it is, but I'm going to walk away from the judiciary. I'm willing to sweep a floor. I'm willing to clean a toilet. Whatever work you have for me, I'm willing to do that."
Wow.
He said, "Well, come, let's talk about it." He wrote a number on a piece of paper, folded it in half, and he said, "Elwin, if you want to work for a church, this is going to be your salary." And he slid it over to me. I opened it up, and I thought, how insulting. You know, after all the school that I went through, that's all you're going to pay somebody like this. And I looked at that number, and he said to me, "You need to understand whether God is calling you. Because if God is calling you, you will do everything in your life to be obedient to that call." And so I went home and took that number, took out our budget. We eliminated everything that we thought we could eliminate because we weren't going to make ends meet. We cut here, cut there, cut here, cut there. We were still short. We were not going to make it. And I looked at my wife. I said, "What do you think?" She said, "Well, God's calling us. If God's calling us, He will provide." I said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yeah, I know God's going to provide." I said, "All right, I need to talk to the governor. I need to talk to the Chief Justice," which I did, told them my decision. They said, "You've been doing so well here. If this ministry thing doesn't work out, you come back anytime." I said, No, I need to leave." So I left. Still don't know how we're going to make ends meet. Got back to my office, opened up my email, and you remember that guy I met at the conference? He found out about what was going on. He wrote me an email and said, "Elwin, I heard the good news. There are 1,000 judges in the world. There's only one New Hope," which was a church I was going to join. "I want to help you with your transition." And what he contributed from his foundation and what we were short in our budget matched to the penny. It was exactly what we needed.
Praise